Hello, this is Rory with Love Chat, and today's topic is Help, I'm clingy. Now, this is video number 210. If you have a question you'd like for me to consider featuring in a future video on the Love Chat, please write it in a comment below. And if you enjoy these videos, I would be so very grateful if you'd subscribe and hit like. If you'd like coaching on your particular situation, just visit my website, thelovechat.net/coaching. Now, clinginess is something that can affect you in many different romantic scenarios. More often than not, you're going to see that it happens when a relationship or maybe a dating situation has been lasting for at least 4 months. We're out of the puppy love stage because that's when people start to notice it. Obviously, when the puppy love stage starts, all you can think about is this other person and how amazing they are, and so perhaps you don't even notice the clinginess. But what happens when you're clingy? Well, it's best that we first define what clinginess is. Innately, clingy behavior is a huge sign of insecurity because you don't really acknowledge your self-worth, or you think that if you're not this way, you're not going to have a relationship in your life, and that's sort of the same problem if you think about it. Clinginess is when you need constant reassurance that your partner cares about you, wants to be with you. It's when you go out with a partner and you're at a party and plenty of opportunities to meet new people and try new things, but instead you kind of cling to them the entire time and let them be your sort of social anchor that keeps you relevant. Perhaps you're anxious and needy and need reassurance from them almost all the time. Clinginess can take many different forms, and it's pretty obvious when somebody's clingy, but sometimes when we're in a situation, we don't really know that we're doing it because we're so focused on our anxieties that we're not focused enough on our personal behaviors. Sometimes we're aware, usually not. So, here's some signs that you might be clingy. So, you might really try and go after your partner for as much attention and affection and affirmation as you possibly can. Basically, you want them to give you everything they can give. You want them to reveal all their intimate thoughts with you, maybe some things they don't want to share, and it bugs you when they hide something from you. Perhaps when your partner tries to create some space to gain a bit of autonomy from you, you might react angrily, or your anxiety shoots up through the roof. What's going on? Is he thinking about leaving me? Is she no longer interested? When someone's clingy, there's no personal boundaries. They need to know at all times that this person is still wanting them, still needing them. You might be very toxic in a way where you constantly check their phone and need to know where they've been. Maybe you have that Snapchat feature where their location is turned on. But these are all clingy things. They come from insecurity. They come from anxiety. They come from, well, what happens if this person leaves me? It will reinforce and prove that I'm not good enough. Well, the base of this problem is that you're getting into the relationship to hide from the fact that you don't feel good enough. So imagine what would happen if you did feel good enough. Another example of clinginess would be that you give far, far more than you receive in relationships. Maybe you always need to have something to do, another way to please your partner, because if you stop pleasing them, they'll stop liking you. Do you see how closely clinginess and anxiety go hand in hand? Because a lot of these things could be mistakable for just regular anxious behavior. But the context is that you're in a relationship and you need to involve yourself with this person at all times. And this goes into extreme examples, perhaps even examples of neglecting your friends, or maybe even removing friends from your life because they don't work within the relationship. Perhaps you're extremely jealous whenever your partner talks to somebody else. Perhaps you're messaging them constantly because you can't bear the anxiety of not messaging them or not hearing from them immediately after you message them. Maybe you get unreasonably mad or upset when they go out without you. And perhaps the next behavior that you turned to was trying to figure out every detail you can about that night. Was a girl there? Was a guy there? And perhaps you begin to pry for details that don't exist. Another sign that you are perhaps too clingy and focusing too much on the relationship is that you've lost your own interests. You're not focusing on you, yourself, the gym, the counselor, all the stuff that we talk about to self-heal, you forgot to do. So, at this point in the video, I've listed several different examples of clinginess and how they can really harm you and your ability to maintain a happy, healthy relationship. So, how can we undo this? Well, in most cases, the helpful way to stop any problem is to first understand why the problem is happening. I'm not just going to open up a patient if I'm a doctor and say, okay, well, let's figure out what the problem is. No, usually I'll have run some tests first, and now I can say, okay, it's most likely this, and I need some evidence of that, but I've done this for a good reason. Well, this is no different. We need to open up ourselves. We need to really sit and reflect and think about our insecurities and our anxieties and why do I feel this way? Where's this coming from? I don't think it's coming from this relationship. This person's quite good to me. They're quite patient with me. This must be coming from my inability to self-soothe. So, how do we learn how to self-soothe? Guess what? Best place is with a counselor. The best place is mindful meditation. The best place is working on yourself, your body, your friendships, your social circles, having other things to do that don't involve this partner. Remember that you were once your own person before you ever met them. At one point, you were a 13-year-old and couldn't care less about relationships. You didn't care. You just wanted to go out with your friends and have fun. Return to that. The world is yours and you can have it. But you need to reach out for it first. If you know that there's a way to help you be less anxious, less clingy, then take it. So if you've acknowledged that you're clingy, and if you have sat down and done some self-reflection as to why you're clingy, what insecurities are being triggered, and you're focusing on yourself, you're at the gym, you're with the counselor, meditating, taking nature walks, meeting new people, going out, trying new things, maybe signing up for a co-ed sport, living your life, you'll be excited. You'll have fun. You'll be well-balanced. You'll be in a much more receptive place to have a healthy, well-balanced relationship. And hey, you having your own life might even make your partner insecure. But we don't want that, and you can help them understand that if that happens. We want both of us to be able to come to the relationship feeling good and at 100%. And if you put in the effort, it's going to happen a lot quicker than you realize. So, that's all I had for today. If you found my video helpful, I'd be very grateful if you'd subscribe and hit like. Let me know if this video spoke to you particularly. I used to be clingy, and having my own life really did help. If you'd like access to extra Love Chat videos, private live streams with me, and get a free copy of my best-selling book on Amazon, just visit my Patreon, patreon.com/thelovechat. Until next time.